Hello and welcome to Sew with Christine. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to draft a basic bodice block for the front parts as well as the back parts. So if this tutorial is what you're interested in watching, do watch this video to the end. And I would like you to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, like this video and share to those that will be interested in watching. I also urge you to turn your post notification bell on so that whenever I post amazing tutorials, you're going to get notified. We are going to be drafting the basic bodice block on this paper. From the top part here, I'm going to mark out the starting line and I'm going to come downward by 1 inch. After marking down 1 inch, I'll go ahead and connect these points together. At this part of the paper, I'm going to label this CF, which is center front. Next, I'm going to take down the bust point measurement and the waistline measurement. So the bust point measurement is 9 inches and the waistline measurement is 16 inches. Do know that this measurement varies from person to person, so you have to take your measurements to know your bust points and your waistline. Next, I'm going to divide this paper so that the front will be separate from the back because I'm going to be working on the front and the back simultaneously. At this side, I'm going to label this part CB, which means center back. Now I want to rule out the bust point line and the waistline, and for me to get a straight line, I'm going to take that same measurement on this part of the paper and also this part. Once I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead and connect all the points using my straight ruler. Coming to the back part here, I'm going to mark down the waistline, but I'm not going to mark down the bust points line since we won't be using that. We only need the bust points for the front. And I took 16 inches for the waistline at the front. At the back part here, I'm going to mark down 14 inches. I will minus 2 inches from the front waistline. The reason is that I'm going to be using up 2 inches for the bust that's at the front area. So by the time we get to that part, you will realize the reason I had to minus 2 inches from the front waistline. Afterwards, I'm going to mark the neck width. The neck width is 3 inches. This is the standard neck width, and the neck depth is 3 inches. You can modify this to whatever neckline you want. You can make use of a V neckline, U neckline, just depending on your preference. I'll go ahead and connect these points together. After drafting the neckline, I'm going to mark the half shoulder width measurement. The shoulder width measurement is 14 inches and the half of it is 7 inches. So I'm going to mark 7 inches here. Then from that point, I'll come down by 1.5 inches. So for the front part, you're going to come down as the shoulder slope would be 1.5 inches. Afterwards, I'm going to connect the 1.5 inches to the neck width. I'm going to take the measurement of whatever is left after marking the neck width. So I have 4 inches here. Remember, the neck width is 3 inches. So on this slanted line, I will also mark 4 inches. Note that we have excess there, and the reason we have that excess is because we've gone ahead to slant the line. Then from this point where I mark the 4 inches, I'm going to come down for the armhole depth line. How to get your armhole depth line? Divide your bust by 6 and add 1 inch to it. That is, divide your bust circumference by 6 and add 1 to it. If you are making a sleeveless top, then you might just go ahead and divide your bust by 6. You don't need to add 1 inch to it. But if you're going to be adding sleeve to your dress, then you add 1 inch to it. From here, I'm going to take the half shoulder width measurement, which is 7 inches, and I'm going to transfer that to the armhole depth line. Then I'm going to connect the points together. After that, I'm going to measure from my starting line here to where I have the armhole depth line, and I have that at 8.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark this through my paper so that I can get a straight line when I connect all the points together. This new line that I'm about to draw will serve as the chest line. So this is our chest line. I'll quickly label this first line CL, which is chest line. The next one is bust point, which is the BP, bust point. Then the third one is waistline. Coming to the back area, I'm going to mark the neck width. We are using the same neck width of 3 inches. Then the neck depth for the back is 1 inch. This is also the standard neckline. If you want to modify this, you can go ahead depending on the style that you are working on. After connecting the neck width to that of the neck depth, I'm going to mark the half width shoulder measurements. On this part here, I'll go ahead and mark 7 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Remember, for the front part, we came down by 1.5 inches. For the back, you're going to come down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect that 1 inch to meet with the neck width. Like we did for the front, I'm going to measure what we have left here. We have 4 inches there. I'm going to mark 4 inches on this slanted line here. Then I'm going to mark what I have at this part, which is 8.5 inches. I'll mark that same value here from the top to 8.5 inches. Then I'll connect this. So note that the chest line for the front and the back must align, as you can see. So I've connected these together. Next, I'm going to take down the half foot shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches on this chest line, and I'm going to mark that down. Next, I'm going to connect these points together. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and get the midpoint of this armhole depth line. The midpoint here is 3.5 inches. From that midpoint, I'll go inward by 0.75 inch. Then I'll come to the chest line here, and I'm going to mark the quarter bust measurements. The bust circumference is 36 inches divided by 4, that is 9. I'm going ahead to mark 9 inches there. So I'm going to connect that bust measurement to the 0.75 to the top part. So you can see what we have here. This is how you draw your armhole curve for the front part. Then for the back part, I'm going to divide my measurement here by 2. Alright, and I have that at 3.75 inches. Then I will go inward by 0.5 inch. Remember, I went inward by 0.75 for the front part, but for the back, I'll go inward by 0.5 inch. Then coming to the chest line, I'm going to mark the quarter bust measurement, which is 9 inches. Then I'll get my curve ruler and connect this top part to meet with the 0.5 inch, then to the quarter bust measurement. So in case you're wondering if the armhole of the front and that of the back would be the same, I'll go ahead and measure both of them for you to see. So this is the back armhole. After measuring, I got 9 inches. Then I will also measure the front armhole. After measuring this, I also arrived at 9 inches. So when drafting your front and back bodice block, this is how you should do it. Hope you understand. On the first line here at the back area, I'm going to mark the CL for chest line, and then I'm going to label this WL for waistline. Coming to the waistline here, I'm going to mark the bust span measurements. The bust span measurement is 7 divided by 2, that is 3.5 inches. I'm marking down 3.5 inches from the bust point line downward. After marking this, I'm going to connect all the points together. Let's say you don't have the bust span measurements of your clients and you want to take down your dart. What you need to do is for you to divide your waist circumference or the circumference of your client by 8. So in this case, the waist circumference is 26. So if you divide that by 8, you're going to get 3.25. So just go ahead and mark 3.25. That's fine as well. Now I'm going to take the quarter waist measurement on the waistline here, and that is 6.5 inches. Since I'm going to be adding my darts of 1 inch to this, I'll add that 1 inch to the 6.5. That is 7.5 inches. So I will go ahead and mark that here. At the hemline here, I will mark the measurement there, which is 8.5 inches. So just take the length of where you want your dress to end. And at that point where you have your length, go ahead and take the circumference of that area. So whatever you get there, divide by 4 and mark at the hemline. Afterwards, I'm going to connect the bust point to the waist, then to the hem. Then I'm going to blend out this sharp edge here. On the waistline here, I'm going to mark 0.5 inch on both sides of this line. Then at the hem area, I'm going to come up by 1 inch there. After which, I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect these points to the bust points, then from that waistline to the hem line there. So this is our front dart. After drafting the darts for the front, I will come to the back part like so, and I'm going to mark the half bust span measurement, which is 3.5. Once I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead and connect all the points together. Then on the waistline here, I'm going to mark the quarter waist measurement plus 1 inch for the darts allowance, that is 7.5 inch. Then I'm going to connect the bust to meet with the waistline. Now remember, we removed 2 inches from the front waistline at the back part, so we are going to minus that same 2 inches at the hem area like so. Then I'm going to connect these together. I'll go ahead and label the base of the front part HL. So on this line, I'm going to label it HL, which is hemline. The back length will be 2 inches shorter than the front length. On the hemline there, I'm going to mark 8.5 inches. Afterwards, I'm going to connect from the waistline down to the 8.5 inches at the hemline. Coming to the waistline at the back part here, I'm going to mark 0.5 inch on this side and on the other side. Then at the chest line, I'll come down by 1 inch. Then at the hemline, I'll come up by 1 inch. After that, I'll go ahead and draw out my dart lines. So looking at this, you know that the front is 2 inches longer than the back. So we'll need to take out that 2 inches so that the sides of the back would balance with that of the front. So on this line, I'm going to mark that 2 inches. See the way I placed my tape? From the bust point line, you come down by 2 inches. Then I will connect the 2 inches to meet with the bust point line. These 2 inches that I've just marked down here is for the bust darts. To get the bust darts width, what you need to do is for you to measure the front length and the back length. After you take down the measurement, minus the back from the front. Whatever value you get there is what you are going to use up for your bust darts. These 2 inches that I marked there is the standard measurement. So let's say you don't have the back length of your client, then you can go ahead and make use of 2 inches. By the time we close up these bust darts, you realize that the side of the front would now match up with the side of the back. Coming to the waistline again at the back, I'm going to come inward by 0.5 inch. This is also the standard measurement. And the reason we are doing this is to help eliminate zipper bulge. So I'm just going to connect this way, upward and downward. After that, I'm going to blend out this sharp edge at the waistline. At this part here, I'm going to write fold. That means this area is going to be on fold. Okay, you're not going to cut that part out unless the style you're working on demands you cut that part open. I'll go ahead and fold my bust dart like so. So guys, if you have watched this tutorial to this point and you have not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and do not forget to like this video. After folding, I'm going to redraw the line. From the chest line there, I'm going to draw a straight line to meet with the waistline. Then I will use my tracing wheel. This is what a tracing wheel looks like. I'm going to use this tracing wheel to trace out this folded area. The reason you need to use this tracing wheel is so that by the time you open these darts, you'll be able to see the path that you need to follow. So this is it. I've gone ahead to open it. You can see this area is no longer straight. So I will just use my ruler to draw this following the direction of the traced areas. Next, I'm going to be adding the seam allowance of 0.5 inch to the necessary areas, and I'm using a red pen for that so you will know the part that is for the seam allowance and the original pattern. I'm going to add 0.5 to the neck area, the shoulder, as well as the armhole area. Then coming to the side here, I'm going to add 1 inch. Now this is up to you. If you want to add half, 1 inch, 1.5, that is totally up to you. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch. And when you're marking your 1 inch at the bust dart area, follow the direction of the bust dart. You know that bust dart area is not straight, so your seam allowance at that area too will not be straight, okay? Coming to the back parts, I will also go out by 0.5 inch on the armhole area, the neck, and the shoulder. At the side here, I'll also go ahead and add 1 inch for the seam allowance. Then I'll connect all the points together. After connecting, go ahead and blend all the sharp edges, very necessary. Blend out all the sharp edges. Then you can add your zipper allowance. If you're drafting yours on the paper, you can do it directly on the paper, or when you transfer to your fabric, you can add your zipper allowance. Just add 1 inch following the direction of the line you have drawn at the center back. So at this part, I'm just going to label this front. Then coming to this part of the paper, I'm going to label this back. I'll go ahead and cut this open to separate the front from the back. Now, if you want to make use of only the bust darts when making your dress, it is totally fine. And if you want to make use of the main darts which we have at the waist area there, it is also fine. If you want to use both of them when making your dress, that is acceptable as well. If you're making use of both darts on your dress, you can transfer the bust darts to the waistline darts. What you have to do is to open up the waistline darts and tape down the bust darts. So that is how you go about it. Just so you see that the sides of the front and back are now equal, I'm going to take the measurement of the back piece first. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and measure the front parts. So if you have any question regarding the basic bodice block that we have just drafted, do not hesitate to drop your question in the comment section. Also, if you have watched this video to this point and you are yet to hit the subscribe button, kindly hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up and share to those that will be interested in watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.